So when I saw that Rook won the poll for the next operator lore video, I was kind of disappointed, honestly, because I always thought that Rook didn't really have a great bio or lore. But after reading it all and doing research on him, there is actually so much to unpack here. So I'm actually really excited to show you guys this video. There is one particular part in his lore that I think would make an absolutely amazing cinematic with him and Twitch, but I won't spoil it just yet. So let's get right into the video. So in order to discuss everything we know about Rook, we need to start off like we always do with where and when Rook was born. So Rook's real name was actually Julien Nizan, and he was born on January 6th in the city of Tours, France. It says in his bio that he's supposed to be 27 years old, but I'm still not sure if Ubisoft updates the ages of all the operators since release, because that would mean that Rook was 21 at the time of the reactivation of Team Rainbow in 2015, and that just doesn't sound right, and it doesn't really line up well with his lore and all that he's done. Anyways, unlike most operators on Team Rainbow, we actually get a good amount of information on Julien's childhood, probably because he doesn't feel like he needs to keep it a secret like other operators do. His lore starts off with saying that Julien was the youngest born son to a good hardworking class family in France. We don't know how many siblings he has, but we do know that he has an older sister named Elodie that was held to the same high standards as Rook was from their parents. Speaking of his parents, his dad was a hardworking and locally respected stonemason, while his mother held numerous jobs over Julien's childhood. She did it all, like she was a bookkeeper, a street busker, a florist, a tour guide, a sommelier, no idea what that is, and a chef. We'll see how Rook's parents really shaped him to be the man he is today. Julien took a vast interest and appreciation from an early age on architectural design and precision. His father, being a stonemason, really helped out with that passion of Julien. Rook, like most operators on Team Rainbow, was very smart when growing up and excelled highly in school, earning some of the most top rankings in his class. Now, we all like to make fun of Rook, calling him one of the thick boys on Team Rainbow. But to be honest, he actually isn't like a super thick boy really at all. He's actually very athletic and only weighs 158 pounds as an adult, but when he was a kid, he performed in all kinds of sports and did, once again, extremely well on all of them. He ran track and field, and he was good at fencing and cycling as well. He did a lot of sports and truly enjoyed it. Now, Julien's parents were the type of parents to teach their children to be curious about everything and embrace the openness of the world. So his older sister Elodie and him would always live by that mentality. After he graduated school and joined the university, he felt like he needed to do more or even see more in his life. So he decided to drop out of school and took his bike and cycled literally across the entire country of France. And it really helped him clear his mind and refocus on what he truly wanted to do in life. Shortly after he got back from his trip from across entire France on his bike, he was 18 years old, and his father was enlisted into an anti-corruption sting with local businesses under the national, oh boy, big word, the National Cendarmerie, which is a national police force in France. Julien was fascinated with how much planning that went into police work and really thought to himself, this is the career choice for me. Growing up loving architecture and having that as a possible career path, also being an insane athlete and finding every way to try and make any one of those sports he played as a possible career choice too, I'm sure he was even surprised when he dropped off his application and enlisted into the National Cendarmerie and was accepted. After some initial training on the Cendarmerie, his first assignment was to be assigned to the Highway Patrol Unit. And Julien really did feel at home now and loved training with his unit. He especially loved the training on specialized qualifications with weapons, surveillance, and criminal investigations. The adaptability that his parents instilled in him from a very early age, especially with his mother having all sorts of different jobs and teaching him from them, really paid off, as no matter what situation Rook was put into, he was always coming out on top. Every military course he would take, he'd be amazing at, which eventually caught the attention of the GIGN. And guess what? They wanted Rook's thick ass on the team. Oh yeah, wait, no, that's, I forgot. I shouldn't call Rook thick anymore. He's only 158 pounds. Yeah, I'm not gonna call him thick anymore. What am I kidding? The GIGN wanted thick boy Rook. Once he joined the team, he was put right to work, and man, did he really love it. According to the psychologist on the GIGN, when Harry got the reports, they say that the adventure and his endless pursuit of the challenges of the job really was a satisfying life for him, and he shared that. He specifically loved hostage rescue and the art of surveillance. Now, Rook has done a lot with the GIGN, but the video would get really long if we talked about it all. So since I don't want to keep you guys here all day, I'm just going to skip to when he joins Team Rainbow. But don't worry guys, the part that I said would make an amazing cinematic is coming up pretty soon. Just stay with me. Well, since Julian was pretty much one of the best people alive at adapting to whatever situation he was thrown into, he was an excellent candidate choice when in 2015, Team Rainbow was looking at the GIGN for recruitment on the team. Along with other captains on the GIGN like Twitch, Doc, and Montaigne, Julian was enlisted onto the team and earned his call sign of Rook. Now, at the time in 2015, when he was recruited, Director Harry was not the 6 of Rainbow, as there really are not at that time, but he was the psychiatrist and would perform all psychological evaluations to every new cadet who joins Team Rainbow. When he first got to Rook, he noticed that he can be very impulsive, but when Rook self-regulates to remain on task, he won't stop until that said task was completed. So basically what he's saying is he's very impulsive, but his dedication once he gets back on task, his dedication is amazing and unmatched. Harry also notes that Rook's adaptability probably stems from his wonderful parents that worked so hard to raise him right. He says how the kind of versatility that Rook brings to the team is rare, and he talked privately to Doc and Castle to try and challenge Julian more during operations and training to see what his true limit actually is. He also wonders why Julian made such a huge shift in career choices from architecture and sports to law enforcement of all things, but he also brings up the fact that he did bike across France to clear his mind and really show what he wanted to do in life. Rook tells Harry that that was truly the first time in his life he felt a sense of freedom was during that trip he biked across France. A couple of years went by after Rook got recruited, and we get to the good part of the video I was wanting to talk to you guys about. So in June of 2020, Rook and Twitch were staying in Paris when 2 huge fires broke out downtown. The GIGN deployed them to assist in the disaster, along with several other officers to keep order to the chaos caused by these awful fires. They tried to corral people to safety when Rook and Twitch remembered a scenario that was very similar to this exact situation. Because they were on Team Rainbow, they have access to the program, which is a massive training movement created by Harry when he became the new 6 in 2019. And in one of those scenarios made up in the program, it played out exactly like this scenario that they found themselves in. Fires starting out downtown in a big city to distract from a big crime that was happening elsewhere in the city so they can get away with it. Due to their training, they suspected that the fires were a cover-up to a massive bank heist occurring across the city. They were right, as they responded to the bank and it was under a heist. They tried confronting the robbers, but they opened fire on Twitch and Rook. Now, if it wasn't for Rook's dedication to safety protocols, he would have died that day as a bullet fired from one of the robbers struck him directly in the head as they were getting away. Luckily, his state-of-the-art helmet quite literally saved his life. He got back up and the pair chased after the robbers on high-speed motorcycles throughout the city of Paris, weaving in and out of traffic. Eventually, after a long chase, they finally caught them and apprehended the suspects. Due to their direct training on Team Rainbow and the program implemented from Harry, they lived that day. Why is this not a cinematic? I would pay money to see a big boy Rook and Twitch being badass on a motorcycle chasing getaway robbers across the city. Like, that just sounds amazing. Well, let's wrap up today's video on the device evaluation on Rook's R1 and Rhino armor plates. The lead evaluator on this gadget was actually Doc, and he starts off by saying how disappointed he is in Harry and Mira for pushing off Rook's evaluation for so long. In fact, it was bumped off the device evaluation schedule for more dramatic gadgets instead of Rook's simple gadget 4 separate times, and Doc was infuriated. Because Doc is a man that lives for saving lives, he got upset with them because Rook's gadget quite literally saves lives. What could be more important than that? Anyways, he talks about how even if the bullets break free from the Rhino armor vest, it buys the wearer of the vest time to seek medical attention on the battlefield or during an operation, since the damage wouldn't be as severe if they weren't wearing the armor from the bullet. All in all, Rook is very proud of his creation and thinks it stems from his father when he was a stonemason, spending so much time and energy creating the perfect thing, and trusts his Rhino armor to the highest degree along with his teammates. He seems like a great guy, and you can quite literally never go wrong with having Rook on your team. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, then check out all my other operator lore videos I've created so far if you are interested in the lore of Siege. Make sure to subscribe with notifications if you're new. Now with all that being said, Jumpy!